Hey guys, Colin here. Hope you're well. So I'm not going to be talking about a piece of malware today, but I am going to be talking about a really interesting tweet which I came across a few days ago from this dude here at Mulander, and he describes this particular activity, which I'm hopefully going to demonstrate to you today, as very creepy. Whereas the situation is WhatsApp appears to be leaking some personal information, and in this particular case, your personal IP address if you happen to type in a URL during the course of an encrypted message. So WhatsApp, as we know, is built as an end-to-end encryption service where two users can communicate in an encrypted fashion. So that's all well and good. But what happens is if you type in a URL during the course of your conversation, WhatsApp will fetch some preview information from that particular website and then return that in the body of your message. Well, that's cool, and every service does that. But the difference here is that WhatsApp actually, instead of going out to get the information from their servers, it actually uses your device to hit that particular website that you're typing in order to fetch back the preview information. Therefore, if you're the owner of that website, you have web logs which will record all of the interactions from users, and therefore will record the IP address of the people who make any requests to your website. So you could be talking about a particular URL with another user in an encrypted fashion, but actually your IP address may well appear in the logs of the particular website that you're talking about. So that's not really good. And now let me kind of show you how it should work. Now what I'm going to flip to here, this is my web server. And what I'm going to do is actually just monitor my web access logs, my Nginx access logs, so you can see any kind of new entries that come into it. So the way we do that is we're just going to tail the logs. We're just going to have a look at new stuff. So we're going to give it 0 lines to begin with. No point looking at the history of the logs. And then also we're just going to feed it the file name. So we'll do var log Nginx, and then it's access.log. There, good. So that's just going to monitor any new interactions that come through. And just as an aside, if I do a wget in my terminal window here, we can see that here's the IP address of my current machine. If I do a quick whois, we can see that that belongs to London Trust Media, and actually this is one of my an IP address of a VPN provider that I use. So you can see straight away in the access logs that it timestamps it. It gives you the path which the IP address hit. It also gives you the user agent, so we can see it was a wget request as well. So that's cool. That's interesting. We know that's all working. Now, if I was on Twitter, for example, I'm going to send a message to another user. Here, I'm going to send a message to myself, and I type in a URL. So let's type in my own URL and just put hello world or what have you. Send that message. Well, Twitter, you can see here, I've got an entry for the Twitter bot, which has requested that information as part of the message, probably to make sure that it is a valid URL during the course of the message. And you can see the IP address that hits it here. And we do a quick whois on that IP, and we can see, yeah, in fact, it does belong to Twitter. So that's good. So Twitter itself has taken the URL and then reached out to it on my behalf, and then come back and fed me the information as part of my message. If I'm in WhatsApp, for example, if I start to type in my website, and I'll do the same thing again here in the course of an encrypted message, you can see the preview information it tries to pop up, and we'll do WhatsApp demo. And if we flip back here, we can see actually as I start typing, it kind of builds up the string that it's querying. So actually every single character it will make a request as if there's enough of a pause between. We can see the WhatsApp user agent, and we can see here that the IP address again has changed. So interestingly enough, it's not the same as the IP address of the Twitter bot, not the same IP address as my VPN provider from my my laptop, but interestingly enough is this particular IP address here, and we do a quick whois on it. What we find is that IP address belongs to O2 UK, otherwise known as Telefonica, and that's my mobile phone provider. So that's that's the IP address that my mobile phone is currently linked to. Now that's obviously natted behind O2's wide IP, which is the IP address that we're seeing here in the logs. But you can imagine that if your mobile phone was connected to your home Wi-Fi, for example, then in the server logs of the website owner that you're talking about, they would have the personal IP address of your particular router. Now that's not good. That's really personal information, and that's probably something that WhatsApp want to sort out. Every other company, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc., do this properly, and their servers reach out to the URLs in question. But here, for whatever reason, WhatsApp seems to be leaking that kind of private information, and lots of people can see it in the logs for themselves. If you run your own web server, you can definitely go and look for this yourself. One of the probably easiest things to look for is the WhatsApp user agent. So just kind of like grep your access logs for this particular user agent, and you can see for yourself all of the IP addresses that are visiting your website. And they may not actually be visitors to your website. These may be just people who are talking about your website in the context of WhatsApp. So that's super interesting, and probably not information which users who are having an encrypted conversation would really want to be leaked. So there you go. I thought that was worth sharing with you. Hope that's useful. Cheers.